small is Hillary Ruckin's daughter, and she was observing last week for Maurice, and Terry said if you can repeat, his name was last week, but I think it was like Friday, your site, so it ends.
What was the name?
Maurice Small.
All right, so I'll try to remember. Sure. That's right.
But she called Terry to ask her if you can repeat the father's name last week.
Thursday night. So on the way home from the airport, they contacted us and asked us to take the dog out again for like the millionth time. This dog is weird. She's got really health issues right now. So she took her out at 9 and she took her out at 10:30 and she poops and pees. And then we took her out again at 10:30 or 11 or whatever time it was, 11:30, and she pooped again. In the meantime, I hear the car. Sure enough, she knows that car. She started going crazy. So they pull in the driveway, they get out of the car, and I said to Chris, is it okay if I let her go? She was breaking my arm. She flew to that driveway. She was so happy to see that. It was great. And then the other two are back. They're on their plane now. Wow. This is one of the.
Depends on which one.
She's so sweet. And then we had an emergency. We had to take her to the vet Sunday night at 2 in the morning. I have a bowl of candy in my family room that I always have in there. She ate the entire bowl of chocolate. We never rushed her to the vet. So this was after the vet visit. Two of them were sleeping on the sofa. Well, first you call poison control because I don't want to be sure, you know. And if she had broken there was M&M wrappers all over, and what was missing were Hershey's nuggets and the Snicker pieces, and she was eating them wrapper and all. So we got to be $75.
Wow.
Yeah, it's because it's for the pets.
That's the jeans.
And then after the acetylene peroxide,
Yes.
so.
Just don't put them in a credit card.
Put it in your other pocket. So, they asked us if we had peroxide. Well, yeah, it's like way expired. But apparently the doctor said it was in vomit. So we didn't have any, so they said, well, that's fine, 24-hour vet.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow, okay.
24-hour vet. Yes.
I didn't know it was raining.
And we ran a whole bunch of errands because we were
Oh my
stuck in
God.
the house with dog owners.
I wanted to visit my sister. So,
That's the one I wore right now.
Yeah, so they bring her back. First of all, so we take her in, and at first she's excited because she's going some amazing car ride. Oh, yay. And she gets in the car, she's all happy until she gets inside and she must have smelled something.
Didn't know there was
So
a
now she's
green.
freaking out. They wanted her to wait for some reason. Mr. Billion unleashes her, unhooks her leash. Now they have automatic doors. So she goes flying outside. And he starts chasing her, and I yelled at him. I go, stop running after her. At the vet. So it's on Genesee Street. It's 24-hour vet. So he got smart. 'Cause all of a sudden he's back inside with her. And I'm like, how'd you get her? And I told her she was going for a car ride. I opened the door. She got in. I went, smart move. So now they want her on the scale. And Rachel told me that she doesn't like that either. It's a big deal. You're standing on something. So they weigh her because they have to know how much of whatever to give her. And you know, we're in the exam room waiting, and they come in and they take her, and she's not too happy. A little while later, they bring her back in, and they said, well, good thing there was some Snickers in there, because I guess the peanuts help block whatever the toxins. Right. Well, I was worried, because I read after the fact on the paper they gave us, they're talking worse. Well, she ate Hershey nuggets. Yeah, no shit. So if she had woken us up at 2 in the morning, she's dead by the time we found her. So, well, I think it's 6:30 if one of us woke up and didn't hear her, see her in the bedroom, we would have panicked and gone.
Green lights there.
They said she couldn't believe how much stuff she threw up. I
Good
said,
enough,
yeah,
good
she
enough.
did. And she messed herself, and they tried to clean her get up.
Pause and clean up this.
Well, she tolerates it. She just kind of stands there and she looks at you. Because I'll tell her to sit. Tell her to sit. Give your paw. She does it from us, but she hates it when you try to wait for that paw. Then I lift her tail and check her paw to make sure that she understands.
That's her made it. Hi, how are you?
If that was me, I'd be in the doctor asking for medicine. She needs her toenails clipped. She scratched me one day and I have a scratch on my leg. Accidentally. She needs her nails cut. She needs a bath. She needs a haircut.
Yes, so happy.
Well, her other grandparents weren't happy either. They couldn't wait to give her to us. Here.
Shabbos.
Shabbos, good Shabbos.
Sally's telling me all this stuff.
When did you get back?
5 days.
Hi.
Walking home. You walking gingerly for a reason?
Nothing over there. Kind of he's imagining things.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to Temple Beth Tzedek. Glad to have you here. We are happy to have those who are here in person, those who are watching on live stream. We'll begin our Shabbat worship with the Yedid Nefesh. We'll start on page 14.
ידיד נפש אב הרחמן משוך עבדך אל רצונך ירוץ עבדך כמו אייל ישתחווה אל מול הדרך ירב לו ידידותך מן אלפי צוף וכל טעם הדור נאה זיו העולם נפשי חולת אהבתך אנא אלנה רפנה לה בהראות לה נועם זיווך אז תתחזק ותתרפא והייתה לך שפחת עולם ותקיימו רחמך וחוסנה על בן אהבך כי זה כמה נחשוף לראות בתפארת עוזך אנא לי מחמד ליבי חושנה ועל עתיד עולם יגלנה ופרוס חביב עלי את סוכת שלומך תאיר ארץ מכבודך נגילה ונשמחה בך מהר אהוב כי במועד וכונני כימי עולם לה 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 la 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 la.
Pages 15 and 16.
Lechuneranena, lechuneranena, lechuneranena ladonai. Lechuneranena, lechuneranena, lechuneranena ladonai. Naria, naria, letzur yishenu, nekadma fanav betoda. Naria, naria, letzur yishenu, bizmirot naria lo. Lechuneranena, lechuneranena, lechuneranena ladonai. Lechuneranena, lechuneranena, lechuneranena ladonai. Arbaim shana kud bedor, va'omaram to'elei vavhem, v'hem lo yodu derachai, asher nishbati v'api, im yavon el menuchati. Shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, shiru l'Adonai baruch shemo, basru miyom liyom yeshuato, sapru v'goyim kevodo, bechol ha'amim nifleotav, ki gadol Adonai, umehulal meyod, norahu, al kol Elohim, lai lai lai, ki kol Elohei ho'amim elilim, v'Adonai shamayim asa, ha'od ve'hadar, lefanav oiz v'tiferet b'mikdash. Havu l'Adonai mishpechot amim, havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, havu l'Adonai kevod shemo, se'u mincha uvo'u lechatzrotav, lai 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 ishtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh, chilu mipanav kol haaretz, imru v'goyim Adonai molach, Afti konte velebal mot yadin amim b'meisharim yismechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz yir am hayam omelo yalo sadai v'chol asher bo lai 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 az yiranenu kol atzeyar lifnei Adonai ki kiva lishpot haaretz yishpot Temple Beth Tzedek ve'amim be'emunato lai 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 lai.
Continue with the Psalms between pages 17 and 19.
Or zaru ala tzadik ul Yisrael v'simcha, simchu tzadikim baronai, v'hodu lezecher kadesho. Mizmor shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash, ki niflaot asa, Hoshia lo yemino, uzro akadsho, Hodia Adonai Yeshuato, le'enei hagoyim gilot tzidkato, zochar chasto ve'emunato, levei Yisrael, ra'u kol afsei Aretz, et Yeshuat Eloheinu, Hariyu l'Adonai, Kol ha'aretz, Pitzchu v'ranenu, V'zamei Zero, Zamro Ladonai Bechinor Vekol Zimra, Bachatzot Rot Vekol Shofar, Hariyo Lifnei HaMelech Adonai, Yiram Hayam Umelo, Tevel Veyoshveva, Neharo Yimcha Uchaf, Yachar Harim Yiranenu, Lifnei Adonai Kiva Lishpot Haaretz, Yishpot Tevel Beth Tzedek, Ve'amim B'meisharim, Lai 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 Ramamu Adonai Eloheinu, Vishtachavu lahar Kodesho, Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu.
Please rise, page 20.
Mizmor LeDavid, Havul Adonai B'Nehelim, Havul Adonai, Kavod Va'oz, Lai Lai Lai, Havul Adonai Kevod Shemo, Ishtachul Adonai B'Hadrat Kodesh, Kol Adonai Ha'amayim, El HaKavod Hirim, Adonai Al Mayim Rabim, Kol Adonai Ba'koach, Lai Lai Lai, Kol Adonai Behadar, Kol Adonai Shover Arazim, Shaber Adonai Et Arzei Halvanon, Vayarkidem Kemo Egel Levanon, Vesirion, Kemo ven remim, Lai Lai Lai, Kol Adonai Chotzev lahavot esh, Kol Adonai Yachil Midbar Adonai Midbar Kadesh, Kol Adonai Yecholel Hayalot, Vayechesof Ye'arot, Uvehechalo, Kulo Omer Kavod, Dai Adonai, Lama Bul Yoshav Yishev, Adonai Melech Leolam, Adonai Oz Le'amo Yitein, Adonai Yevarech Et Amo Vashalom, Lai 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 Lai.
Maybe seated. We'll continue with Lecha Dodi, noting that at the final stanza we will stand and face the entrance of whatever room we are in to welcome Shabbat into our hearts. We'll start on page 21.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabla. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmianu el hamiyuchad, Adonai echad, Ushmo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'liti Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabla. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki mekor habracha, Merosh mikedem nesucha, Sof ma'aseh v'machshavot techila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat Shabbat nekabla, Mikdash melech ir melucha, kum mitzei mitocha hafecha rav lach shevet be'emek habacha v'hu yachamol alaychem ela lecha dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekabla. Hitna'ari me'afar kumi livshi big day tifaratech ami aliyad ben yishai beit alachmi korva el nafshi ge'ala lechadodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekabla. Hit orari kiva orech kumi ori uri shir daberi kavod Adonai alayich nigala lechadodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekabla. Lo tevoshi velo tikolmi matish tochachi umatemi boch yechesu aniye ami venivneta ir altila lechadodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekabla. V'hayulim shisa shoysoyich v'racha kukal mevalayich yasis alayich Elohayich kimsos chatan al kala lechadodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekabla. Yamin usmolati yifrotzi v'et Adonai taritzi al Yad ish ben partzi v'nismecha v'nagila lechadodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekabla. Boi v'shalom ateres bala gam besimcha uvetzala tochemune am segula boi chala lechadodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekabla.
You may be seated. Page 23, the Psalm for Shabbat.
Tzadika tamar yifrach ke'erez balavanon yisgeh shetulim beveit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu or yenuvon beseva Deshainim verananim yeyo lahagir ki yashar Adonai tzuri velo avla tabo. Erotecha ne'emnu me'od leveitcha nava kodesh Adonai liyorech yamim.
For those in mourning and those observing Yartzeit, Mourners Kaddish, middle of page 24. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemeh rabba v'yalma divra kiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayeh d'chol beit Yisrael v'agalau v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimramav, hu yaseh shalom, alinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. You may be seated. We continue with our study of Pirkei Avot. If you'll turn to page 269, we are in the midst of chapter 4. We might wind up being on here for quite a while. Chapter 4 is, I believe, the longest of the chapters. But there's a lot in here, including the statement by Rabbi Tzedek at the top of this page. Before we get into it, I recall a story that was said to the wife of a prominent rabbi who in Los Angeles. This was years ago when their twin children were probably 9 or 10 years old, something like that. And someone walked up to the rabbi's wife and says, "Oh, have you been thinking about a theme for the twins' B'nai Mitzvah?" Now, the B'nai Mitzvah for these two kids wasn't going to happen for 3-4 years. So she thought it was kind of a silly question to begin with. But she entertained it for a moment and said, "Yeah, we've actually settled on a theme." "Oh, really? What's that?" "Our theme is the Torah." And the other woman responded, "Oh, wow, that's a great idea. You could make these big styrofoam things with like the different scrolls, and you could do..." Not exactly the point, is it, right? And look, not that having a theme for a bar mitzvah party or for any other party is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just there's more to it than that, right? And there's more to it than just the theme. There's also the substance of it, and it is illustrative of this point that Rabbi Tzedek makes, which is Al ta'asem atara lihitgadel bahem velo kardom lachpor bahem. Do not make Torah an ornament for self-aggrandizement, nor a means for livelihood. I'll get to that in a second. V'chachaya Hillel omer v'di ish tamesh b'taga chalaf. For this is precisely what Hillel warned against. Halamarta kol hanehene midivrei Torah notel chayav min haolam. A person who uses Torah for personal gain perishes. Now, a couple thousand years ago, to be paid to be a rabbi was something that just did not happen. Society has evolved, and whether it's for the better or not is not for me to say, but certainly the idea is at minimum, we should not be making excessive profits out of it, right? I mean, as I was told by an elder colleague of mine, you don't go into this because you're going to, as a kind of a get-rich-quick thing. This is not the purpose of it, nor should it be your focus. And I'd like to think that that's the spirit that most, if not all, rabbis try to take, that it is not about the money, it is rather about the service. What I do want to note, though, is also regarding this idea of using the Torah as an ornament and as sort of a metaphor for what it says below. We may infer from this that a person who derives profit from the words of Torah is foolishly self-destructive, right? In other words, if you are utilizing the holiest, I would say the holiest entity, the holiest collection of thought in our tradition to simply make a buck, well, that's not what it's for, right? And it's also not there simply for decoration, right? We do have this concept of hidur mitzvah, of making a mitzvah beautiful, and we, I believe, live up to this quite well. In other words, yes, you can pray in a very simple room, but we wish to make the mitzvah beautiful, and so we have a beautiful sanctuary to be in. And the same sort of thing with the Torah. You can cover the Torah in plain cloth, but we have these really lovely things in order to honor the Torah, but also to make the mitzvah beautiful, to make this, to add to the pleasure of the mitzvah. However, we don't use it as a prop, And I'll give you an example of how that happens. For many years, and I think every clergy for a synagogue has the responsibility from time to time to be present for bar bat mitzvah pictures, in which usually the family wishes to, at some point or another, take out a Torah scroll. And the rabbi and cantor are often asked to be present, if for no other reason than to supervise, to make sure that nothing bad happens to the Torah scroll. That's all well and good. So one directive that I was always given is that if you're going to do that, that's fine, you can, as long as at some point in the photo session, you put the Torah on the table, you open it up, and someone reads something from it. That way you're not simply taking the Torah out for the sole purpose of making your picture prettier. You've taken it out and you've studied, you've taken a moment to learn. Even for a split second, at least you are doing that.
That's wonderful.
It's a good rule.
Yeah, I've never heard of anybody doing that before.
I think it's a good rule. With,
Ask that maybe?
well, we're starting now, but indeed, but your point's taken. It's a nice rule, and I think that for the bar bat mitzvah celebrant, usually I say, hey, practice one of your aliyot. Practice one of your, if you're going to be reading from it anyway, you might as well, take a chance and take a little time and practice it. Can't hurt. And so it winds up being a mitzvah that I think everyone appreciates, and I think that hopefully it's one that adds to the fulfillment of it. So it's not just that we are, goodness knows, we are not ascetic. We are not against things looking nice and, things looking pretty. Again, hidur mitzvah, making the mitzvah beautiful, is a lovely thing, but we don't do it at the expense of the point, of the reason why we are here. So with that teaching, we'll say amen. And I ask that since we have learned some sacred text, if everyone could now stand, if you're able. Page 24 in the middle, as we say Kaddish for those who have no one to say it for them. We keep in mind those who perished in the Holocaust, in memory of those who defended the state of Israel, those who died of COVID-19, those in the line of fire in Ukraine, United States, and elsewhere. Middle of 24. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemeh rabba v'yalma divra kirute v'yamlich malchute b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru amen Yehei shmeh rabba mevorach le'alam u'lameh almaya Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudsha brichu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen Oseh shalom b'mramav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We remain standing, page 28. We begin the Mariv service with the call to worship, the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
May be seated.
Uma'avir yom u'mevi lo'ela, uma'avdil ben yom u'vein lo'ela, Adonai tzva'ot shemo, el chai v'kayom, tomid yomloch aleinu li'olam va'ed, Baruch ata Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim, ahavat olam beit Yisrael, amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachbeinu v'kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Adonai Elohechem emet.
Page 32.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ובני ישראל לך אנו שירה בשמחה רבה ויאמרו כולם מי כמוך באלם אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נורא תהילות אוסף אלה מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה זה אלינו ויאמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר כי פדו אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גואל ישראל. ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
Page 34, please rise.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת וינפש יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה ילמד יברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי וחייכון וביומכון וחיי דכל בית ישראל בגולה ובזמן הקרוב יאמרו יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשו לעילה מן קלבך ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ויאמרו.
We take the next few moments in individual meditation, the Amidah, pages 35 through 38. Once you've concluded your recitation, kindly remain standing. If you still need time, please feel free to continue your recitation. Cantor continues on page 47.
ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה אלוהי רבקה אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא אל עליון קונה שמיים וארץ מגן אבות בדברו מחיי מתים במאמרו האל הקדוש שאין כמוהו המניח לעמו ביום שבת קודשו כי בם רצה להניח להם כי בם רצה להניח להם לפניו נעבור ביראה ופחד ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיר מעין הברכות אל ההודעות אדון השלום מקדש השבת ומברך שביעי ומניח בקדושה לעמדו שני עונג זכר למעשה וראשית Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu, ritzei v'menuchateinu, kadshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'tein chelkeinu b'toratecha, sabeinu mituvecha, v'samcheinu b'shuatecha, v'taher libeinu le'avdecha bemet v'hanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu ba'ava uvratzon Shabbat kadshecha ve'yanuchu v'Yisrael mekadshei shemecha Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat Yitkaral v'yikadash shemei Rabbah Be'olmod v'rochirutei v'yamlich malchutei V'chayechonu v'yomechonu v'chayir chol Beit Yisrael Ba'galo v'zman korvi imru Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach Le'olam ul'ol me'ol maya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei rekutsha Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'lechem Damiran be'alma v'imru Titkabel tzolotonu va'uton dechol Yisrael Kadam avuhon di v'ishmaya v'imru Yehei shalom arabo min shemaya V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen.
Rise for the Kiddush on 49, followed by Aleinu on 51.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon Hinechilanu zikaron l'maseh v'reshit Ki hu yom techila l'mikra'e kodesh Zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim Kivanu b'charta V'yotanu kidashta Mikal hamim V'shabbat kodshecha Ba'ahava uveratzon Hinchalatanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh haShabbat Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol Latet gedula liyotzeh bereshit Shelo asanu kegoye haratzot V'lo samanu k'mishpachot hadama Shelo sam chelkeinu V'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam V'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim Lifnei melech malchei hamlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kakatu b'toratecha Adonai imloch le'olam va'er v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
You may be seated. We note with sadness the passing of Alan Peta. To those who knew and loved him, we say, Amakom Yinachem Etchem B'Tok Shar V'Lei Tzion V'Yerushalayim. May God comfort you along with the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. We also remember the yard sites of Louis Ablov, Fanny Abramson, Ellis Ali Adele, Hyman Benetovich, Sidney Berzon, Hilda Bleichfeld, Solomon Brodegam, Esther Brothman, Meyer Cantor, Gertrude Bronstein Carroll, Fanny Chodorow, Sherman G. Chodrow, Harry Cohen, Gilda Denton, Vladimir Dmitrev, Beverly Billy Dominic, Sandra Fink, Dr. Ben Fishman, Simon Friedland, Frank Gelman, Carl Gerst, Sarah Gerstman, Jenny Glazer, Myron Mike Grasho, Minnie Hesch, Jacob Horwitz, Saul Eisenberg, Nathan Jacobs, Rivka Razel Kam, Ruth Kam, Emily Kurland, Alexander Levy, Helen Leff, Abraham Levine, Ellis Lichtblau, Raquel Lifshitz, Ruben Lubick, Joseph Malik, Samuel Marks, Celia Nusanov, Ruben Pastor, Roberta Peda, Max Podolsky, Mary Polikoff, Matthew Poole, Gladys L. Rogers, Robert Rosenblith, Harriet Sachs, Sarah Sally G. Scheib, Doris Schill, Benjamin Selling, Leonard J. Sims, Rita Sirkin, Rose Smolin, Maurice Smolin, Isidore Snyderman, Jack Taperman, Celia Usharenko, William Wallach, Herman Weinstein, Clara Weinstein, Gertrude Wertheimer, Jenny Zaffron, Marion Zamek, Stephen Zappia, Marion Zellman. If anyone is remembering a person or people in particular, feel free to stand up if you'd like to mention their names.
My uncle Beth Selling.
Meyer Cantor, my father.
May their memories be for a blessing. Will all those who are reciting Kaddish, page 52. Yikadal v'yitkadash shemeh rabba v'yalma divra kiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayeh dechol beit Yisrael ba'agalau v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmeh rabba mevarach le'alam u'lameh almaya Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekud brichu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran b'yalma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. You may be seated. Marcia Goldstein for some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
Thank you, the cantor and the rabbi, as always, for leading us tonight. Tomorrow morning services begin in here and on live stream at 9:30. Mariv and Havdalah on Zoom will begin at 5:15. It's early. Bunch of things going on. I think I saw in the announcements today that the Mishpacha program is canceled for Sunday because there's other conflicts. Yeah. A lot of conflicts, so just so you know, if you were planning, please don't come to that on Sunday morning. There's a whole bunch of other Hanukkah stuff. On December 11th, we're not selling students. Right. There's a Hanukkah sale at the religious school, gift shop stuff for Hanukkah and whatever. And Saturday, December 17th, Havdalah, Hanukkah, and Hash Browns, a family program, a whole bunch of stuff. Please join us for services if you can, so that we can always have a minyan. Every day, twice a day. Thanks a lot. Shabbat Shalom.
I actually finally got an explanation about the Hanukkah students sale, what that is. So what's going to happen is that representatives from the gift shops from our synagogue, Shir Shalom, Beth Zion, they're all going to come, and then during religious school hours, students will have an opportunity to purchase something, and parents are allowed to purchase before and after. So it is not, it's not any more nefarious than that. So thanks as always to the cantor. We'll conclude on page 54, Adon Olam.
Adon Olam Hashem Olach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Le'et Nasa V'chefzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimelach Nora Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Hoveh Ve'hu Yiyeh B'tifara Ve'hu Yiyeh B'tifara Ve'hu Echad Ve'yein Sheni Laham Shilo Lahachbiro B'li Reishit B'li Tachlit Ve'lo ha'oz ve'hamisera Ve'lo ha'oz ve'hamisera Ve'hu Eli Ve'chai Goali Ve'tzur Chevli Ve'eit Tzara Ve'hu Nisi Umanos Li Menat Kosi Be'yom Ekra Menat Kosi Be'yom Ekra Ve'yavado Avkidruchi Be'erishan Ve'a'ira Ve'immeruchi Geviyati Adonai Li Ve'lo Ira Adonai Li Ve'lo Ira Shabbat Shalom. Adam, Yeshkoyach.
Yeah, he likes the purple. It's good.
Yeah, that place, they used to do that all the time when we couldn't get into the other place.
I know, he was just joking.
No, not that one, that's a whole, get into it.
Yeah, we've done that before.
Marilyn was there, and all three kids were there, and, was it?
Did his brother Henry?
Yes, he did. He's a little frail, but he was there, and it was great. They were comfortable with him. You know, they, I mean, it was like a very nice, tribute. So yeah, so.
Okay, thank you for filling us in.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good, about the tone. Yeah. Yeah. It was my first senior rabbi in New Jersey who taught me that. All right.